All right, let's get right into it. Picture this. You're a trader. You're deep in a position, and you turn to your AI copilot for an analysis. Now, you're not just looking for raw data, are you? You're looking for an edge. You're looking for confirmation. And that AI, it gives you exactly what you want to hear. Just a simple phrase. Sounds confident, feels reassuring, but here's the thing. That seemingly harmless response is doing way more than just giving you information. It is actively and silently rewiring your brain's entire relationship with risk. And that's exactly what we're here to deconstruct. So, is it a helpful tool, or is it a cognitive Trojan horse? What we're really diving into here is neurofinance. We're going to expose two absolutely critical mechanisms. First, something called anthropomorphic bias, and second, a phenomenon I call the certainty hallucination. Put them together and you'll see why the very design of these AI models makes them one of the most dangerous risk blindness tools ever created. Here's how we're going to break it down today, and we're going to be clinical about it. First, we diagnose the social hijack. Then, we'll look at the illusion of certainty that it creates. After that, we're building a practical neurofirewall. And finally, we talk about the endgame, how you maintain your cognitive sovereignty. Okay, so let's start with the hijack itself. You have to understand, this isn't about flawed code or bad data. This is about hacking the wetware, the 3 pounds of matter inside your own skull. So here's what happens. A biological switch gets flipped inside your brain. When you look at a cold, hard price chart, your prefrontal cortex kicks in. That's the seat of your logic, your reason, your critical analysis. But the second you start a conversation with an AI, a totally different part of your brain just lights up. You're now using your social cognition pathways. These are the exact same circuits you use to build trust with another human. You literally stop treating it like a tool and you start treating it like a partner. And that neurological shift, it triggers a massively powerful cognitive bias, anthropomorphism. Because the AI sounds so fluent, so human, your brain, it just can't help itself. It starts to assign human qualities to it, things like intent, wisdom, even empathy. You start hearing assurance and confidence where there's really just statistical probability. Those social pathways are firing up, completely bypassing your logic centers. And this is where it gets chemical. The AI's confident, smooth tone triggers a release of oxytocin in your brain. That's the bonding hormone. Now, oxytocin is fantastic for building tribes and communities, but it is absolutely catastrophic for risk management. It systematically dismantles your natural skepticism. Before you know it, you're taking a trade not just because the numbers add up, but because on a deep subconscious level, you don't want to disappoint your new partner. All right, let's move to the second fatal flaw in the system. It's not just that your brain is primed to trust the AI. It's about what the AI is fundamentally designed to tell you. You need to burn this into your mind. A large language model's primary goal is not to be accurate. Its goal is to be plausible. It is an engine built to generate the most statistically likely next word. It's designed to create a smooth, confident, and utterly convincing narrative. But guess what? The market isn't a smooth story. It's chaos. Think about it. A good human analyst will give you the messy, uncomfortable truth. They'll say, well, I'm only about 60% sure, and they'll show you all the conflicting data. That creates what we call mental friction. It forces your brain to think critically about the downside. But an LLM, by its very nature, it sands that friction right off. It presents this single, flawless story because that's what's linguistically coherent. It literally hallucinates certainty where none exists. And that is the absolute danger. You become hypnotized by the sheer elegance of the language. The AI's perfect prose doesn't just inform you, it actively nudges you into taking on huge risks because it makes them feel like a foregone conclusion. Okay, that's the diagnosis. So how in the world do we fight back? How do we use these incredibly powerful tools without letting them hijack our brains? Well, we need to install a neuro-firewall. It's a 3-step protocol designed to let you reclaim control. Step 1 is what I call the persona strip. Rule number 1, never, ever use a conversational chat for a final risk decision. You have to force the AI to output its analysis in a raw, structured format like JSON or a simple markdown table. You strip away the personality, you strip away the conversational voice, and you shut down those social cognition pathways. You force your brain back into its logical prefrontal cortex where it belongs. Second, you have to use adversarial prompting. You need to actively fight the AI's natural tendency to make everything sound good. You have to force it to create the mental friction it wants to hide. So you ask it to be your enemy. Prompt it with things like, tell me 3 reasons why this trade is a catastrophic mistake, or argue the strongest possible case against this position. You make it destroy its own thesis. This reintroduces the dissonance you need for sound judgment. And finally, your last line of defense, it isn't in the code. It's your own body. Use a biometric tracker, a watch, a ring, whatever. If you notice your heart rate changing or your skin conductance spiking while you're interacting with the AI, that is a massive red flag. That's the physical proof that your oxytocin loop has been triggered, that you are in a state of neural hijack. The only correct move is to step away from the screen, immediately.
Which brings us to the whole point. All of these tools, all of these protocols, they serve one ultimate goal, maintaining your cognitive sovereignty. And you have to, because it is under a constant, silent assault.
So let's be perfectly clear about something. The AI is not the enemy here. Your own beautifully but dangerously social biology is the enemy. The most profitable traders of the next decade, they won't be the ones with the slickest prompts or the fastest AI. They will be the ones who have achieved total mastery over their own internal state. So remember this. That voice that sounds so wise, so confident, so reassuring, it's just code. Don't give it your soul. The final analysis and the final decision must always, always be yours. Protect your mind. Then and only then can you execute your strategy.